Hello, my name is Brianna Sinclair. It is my 11th week on HRT, and so far, um, these are my changes. The measurements update, um, my hips are 34 and a quarter, my bust is 34 and a half, and my waist is still 25 and a half. So I haven't noticed anything between last week and this week, and it's actually been, I guess it's been a week since I really noticed anything, but Um, those are my measurements. What else? So my emotional state is, I think it's kind of leveled off, which is pretty good. It kind of means that I'm not like an emotional basket case or anything like too out there. I can handle my emotions very well, if not just as well as before. Um, and As for my energy level, I am extremely tired all the time just because there's a severe lack of testosterone that I'm feeling, which does help you throughout your day-to-day process. So there's that. I am definitely noticing that. Um, my breast growth isn't too pronounced. I haven't noticed too much, but as you can kind of see, there is a little bit of something, but hardly really anything. Um, I guess they're about a little bit bigger than like a pizza roll, something like this big maybe. Trying to think of something like universal that would be equated to. Um, that's probably about like 2 inches in diameter. It's not a whole lot, but I'm also not a very big person, so there is that. I don't expect them to grow a whole lot, just because my family's not really well endowed in that area. So, I don't expect them to get too much bigger. um, let's see. I have noticed some of my body hair starting to grow back a little slower. Not a whole lot, but slightly. Um, Kind of like off and on. I don't really know what the frequency is, but I have noticed it where I was like, oh, there's been a couple days where it's like been really slow, and then like a couple days I'll notice like, wow, I'm growing a lot of hair. Still, um, I did kind of lock Fendi out of the room for this one, just because he always likes to get into the video really, really well. I'm sorry I keep playing with my hair. Um, I'm not used to wearing this top, so I'm just kind of doing it as like a nervous tick. So I apologize. um, I know even though I make these videos in private, I still fully am aware and understand that like this is also going out to the world. Um, so yeah. Um, my sex drive is still the same. It might have decreased a little bit, but it hasn't like tanked or anything like that. Like what I hear, um, most women say, um, which is, I guess, okay. I was kind of looking forward to it just completely dropping off because I had an extremely high sex drive, so it was annoying. Um, but with my sex drive dropping off a little bit, it feels a lot better. I'm not like constantly feeling things about it, and I don't never wanted to. It just annoyed the shit out of me. So why would I want to? Um, it is what it is. And I went into my transition fully knowing that it was going to. I kind of expected it. And if, as you raise the estrogen level and decrease the testosterone level, apparently does just that. It drops off. As of right now, I'm on a low dosage of estrogen and spironolactone. So I didn't really expect a whole lot of change anyway. I am kind of surprised in the changes that I am getting now, because I did not expect really any growth. As far as like my breast tissue goes, I kind of expected it to not grow for a while, to be honest with you. Because usually, I think that I looked it up, most changes happen within like the first 18 months, and then they start to like teeter off a little bit. Sorry, I've been talking all day, so my voice is a little scratchy and a little rough. Let's see, we talked about my emotional state, my breast growth, or the lack thereof, or I don't know, take that how you will. I'm still waiting on my exception to policy. I'm fixing to call the administration office and see if I can figure out where it's at. And I'm hoping that by the time I call, I'll have just gotten an email saying, like, you can grow out your hair, you can start living by female standards, because as of right now, I can only do that in my private life, which is fine. I just wish I could do it more often, and it would be a lot more wonderful to be able to grow out my hair. I'm kind of sneakily doing it, by kind of slicking it back, and with a lot of gel, so that way it all kind of looks like it's welded together, and it kind of hides the fact that it's incredibly long for what it's supposed to be. And yeah, I am starting to like kind of fix my mannerisms and stuff like that, because I'm trying to be the best version of me as it is, and I do recognize that like I do have some masculine qualities. I do. And I'll be the first one to tell you that. I still do the boy nod and stuff like that, and for those of you that know, you know. It's a hard habit to break that I've had since I was a child. I still swear and stuff like that because I just do. I can swear around my friends and stuff like that, but if I'm around strangers, usually I don't. I'm very curt, very, poised. I do kind of like, I have been trying to like practice my voice a little bit, and practice my mannerisms, walking, my hand motions and stuff like that, and seeing where that goes and how far like I can progress in that. I'm excited to start official voice training at some point. I don't know when I'm going to be able to start it, but I'm hoping soon, because I would like to get a professional coach to help me change my voice, because it's very masculine. It's very masculine. I'm trying to use my videos as practice right now, and I can definitely tell you I can hear the boy in it. But that's okay. I'd never expected any like immediate changes with me taking HRT. I was more scared than anything because of my relationship, and for those of you that have been following me a little bit, you kind of know that I never wanted to end my relationship with my transition, even though it did cross my mind multiple times, and almost did in fact happen. Sorry, my breast tissue still hurts. because they're still growing. Um, yeah, I've started a waist train and stuff like that. I do wear a lot of shapewear to kind of help fill me out in ways that like I can look more feminine, to where like I'm a little bit passable. As of right now, my voice and my hair usually give me away whenever like I have my makeup on. Without my makeup, it's obvious I'm a boy. It's very much obvious, and that's something I'm working towards to change. After my FFS, I'm hoping that I'll look considerably more feminine, and from what I've seen for done with FFS, it'll happen. It's not a so FFS is and isn't a major surgery. It's a term used to describe multiple surgeries, and what I mean is it's an overarching term. It's like an umbrella term. So a lot of the surgeries are blepharoplasty. I'm saying that right. Rhinoplasty. You can get lip implants. Fat redistribution to the temples and stuff like that. There's a brow bone shave, and they can advance your hairline or regress your hairline depending on what would look more feminine on you. And what you're kind of going for as far as beauty. You can do a jaw augmentation, and there's an Adam's apple shave, as you can see, very prominent in me. I do try and hide it sometimes. I can't really, because it's so prominent. It doesn't matter if I wear a choker or anything like that. It kind of shows. Some other changes I was just thinking about were my fat redistribution. I have not really noticed anything, and I don't expect to notice anything until like 6 to 8 months, I think, or like it's like the window for whenever you start to notice things. And my muscle mass, I have noticed, is decreasing. It is a little bit harder to lift things I could used to be able to lift, or go as long as I could, as far as like my stamina and stuff like that. Like I'm trying to make some room in my room, and it is incredible how depleted my energy becomes, just because I'm just not used to it anymore, I guess. I used to be able to lift things all the time, and I had like this really like go-to attitude where I would do it. If it was on the ground, I would do everything I could to lift it. Just because I knew I needed to. Obviously not weights. That's different. But if it was like a box or something like that, like I'm gonna get that up there. No matter what it takes, I'm gonna do it. And that's what I've noticed so far. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to tell, to be honest with you. This one might be one of my slower videos. But all in all, my changes are occurring slowly but surely. They are ensuing and underway. I haven't made any sewing videos as of yet because I haven't really had a chance to sew. I've been trying to like pack up and clean up like my sewing table and stuff like that, so I can actually start sewing and get my sewing machine back from my wife. She's borrowing it because she does drag and stuff like that, so she repairs, mends, and alters her costumes so that way they fit her better and they look better. Um, yeah, it's just a lot. um, it is really exciting because I know I'm really close with my exception to policy, and it's a major focus of my anxiety right now because that's the next step. It's the next thing for me. Is to get this exception to policy because um, it's me getting approval from my my bosses saying that I can start abiding by female standards. And that is very important to me. Just the sheer fact that I can look and dress how I want to, and I can start wearing female clothes at work. I do at one of my jobs, occasionally because they allow it. They're very open and accepting of me being transgender and transitioning. They've actually had transgender people there before who were great at what they do, and I'm hoping to continue that. I don't want to cause any problems or anything. I'm simply there to show that we as women are just as good and can be better if enough work was put into it. And I do put in as much work as I can because I want everyone to know that I did my best. And that's all I've ever wanted, is to do my best. And right now I'm taking the time that I should have taken years ago to improve my mental health. And my transition is my way to do that. Because for years I lived in a constant state of depression, and I could never understand the cause because I always figured out. I didn't figure out anything, to be real with you. I always tried to hide it from myself by burying myself in work and projects. I would spend so much time at work, and I would have like 30 different projects going on at the same time, and little by little I would work on them. And I finally had the time to figure out what was wrong with me. And I sat down, did a numerous amount of research, and investigating to figure it out. So all I knew was I questioned a lot of things. I acted very differently. I didn't go by normal standards, and in private I was what most would call weird, because I would cross-dress and play in makeup. And I would continuously hide that from the world because I didn't think it would be acceptable. I always heard the stories about how people hated us and stuff like that, and I was afraid that something would happen to me, or I would end my relationship. But I buried my work in school or work, and so I wouldn't have to face myself in this battle and fix myself, because nobody wants to think that they're a problem, or they have a problem, or that something's wrong with them. Nobody wants to. I don't like going to the dentist. I don't like going to the doctor. Imagine how I would feel trying to confront myself. I did it. And I did everything I could to make sure that I wasn't making a mistake. And due to how I feel, I can't imagine this possibly being a mistake. I did reach out to the one family member that I know of that didn't accept my transition, and I think they're coming around. I hadn't talked to them in months, even before I started hormones, and it was an interesting time. And that was all inspired by my wife. She knows that this person in question isn't going to be around forever. And at some point in time, she is going to not be with me anymore. And I should probably at least try to make amends on my end. And if she still doesn't want to accept it, then so be it. So I did my part, and I reached out, just so I can ask her how she's been and how she's doing. And yeah, so that went well. The next time I see her, I don't know if we're gonna really do anything. She wants to, but I don't know if she's ready for it, so we'll see how that goes. I did have my endocrinology appointment this week, and I have my follow-up next week. They just did a little blood sample to figure out where my levels were, and Monday I get to figure out where they were and hopefully increase my regimen, which will be good, really good. So that way I can start taking so I can see more of my transition occurring. Sorry, my words might be a little bit mixed up because I've been at work all day, and I do apologize. I try to give my audience quality content, as I push uncut, unscripted. That's the truth. The closest thing that I have that's scripted is my measurements thing, and it's a little index card where I write down my measurements. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot else to tell. Not a whole lot has changed. I haven't noticed my height shrink or my shoes fit looser or anything like that. All I've noticed is that I'm significantly happier, a minor bit of breast growth, and a lot of pain in my chest, which is fine. It just not something I knew was gonna happen, so I thought it was pretty funny. So yeah, I hope you all found this video very informative, and I hope it helps you. And if not, if it doesn't help you, I hope it does help the transgender world in the future by being able to share my story and show like my accounts of what I'm experiencing, because as women our transitions are different, which is interesting to say the least, and that's why a lot of our changes are based on a scale that is based on when your family would see it, I guess, genetically. I feel like I'm phrasing that wrong. It's based on like your genetics mostly. So if you're more prone to certain things, you'll experience certain things more. If not, you'll experience those less. And yeah, that's how I understand it. And I'm hoping that my transition journey can help with that. I do know this is kind of weird. This is essentially my diary of what I go through every week, week by week, recounting things that have happened and stuff like that. But I feel like given a baseline and keeping on top of my changes periodically will help show people what to expect. But if you like my content, please like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear your support, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Don't be upset if you say something negative and I get sassy. Somebody did say I can be lippy, and absolutely can. I try not to be, though, but what goes around comes around. And so if somebody says something smart to me, I'm gonna say something smart back. It's the way I am. Because I don't feel like transgender women should be pushovers. I feel like we should be able to stand up for ourselves just like everybody else. And in my beliefs, I'm not gonna take somebody saying negative things to me, or ignorant things. If they're ignorant, if they want to learn, that's something completely different than if they're deliberately just trying to be a heckler, for lack of a better term. And that's what I try to avoid, is if you're a heckler, I'm gonna heckle you back. Because it's fun for me. It's fun for me to make these videos. It's fun for me to interact with people. And I feel like it's justice whenever I do it, and put people in their place. Because my channel is not supposed to be a place for negativity. It is supposed to be a place or a community where people can ask questions, people can learn more. If there are tips and stuff that somebody has, I would hope that they would share them. Because it's hard enough transitioning on your own. If I didn't have the community I did, and didn't have the support I did, and the willpower to do all the research and looking into stuff that I did, I wouldn't even be this far. And I still get called a man, which is fine by me, because I've only experienced minor changes. So it is what it is, and I'm not gonna belittle somebody for misgendering me in public. unless they're intentionally doing it, and in which case, then gloves off. Then I feel like if they're doing it disrespectfully, go for it. You should have warned them, and if you did and they're still being disrespectful, then you're justified in your actions. Um, but having said that, it is not okay to just go off the handle for a simple misunderstanding or a mistake. That's just my opinion on it, and I don't expect some people to share my opinion. But because I do address people using their pronouns as well, so if it's questionable, I try to avoid pronouns at all costs because I don't want to offend that person. Because it is hard to tell sometimes. Even I know that. But if they present as she, if they present as he and it's obvious, I will say he and or she. Sorry, he or she, depending on how they are presenting. And that usually ends really well. But yep, please like, comment, subscribe, ask questions, be bold, be brave. I'll talk to y'all later.